there's two reasons why this is the worst bribes I've ever seen in American history, and that is saying a lot given how we've institutionalized and legalized bribery in this country. And let's note the great irony of this brother running a campaign on Drain the Swamp. Please.
220 winners of a contest to meet President Trump, the top holders of his crypto coin.
I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful.
NBC News has learned each dinner guest paid between $55,000 and $37.7 million for the Trump coin.
Donald Trump's dinner is an orgy of corruption.
So that got even grosser than it already seemed with the orgy of corruption. But Elizabeth Warren is not wrong. This is one of the most corrupt things I can think of in terms of the presidency. Anything following up the $400 million plane is going to seem slightly smaller by comparison. But Donald Trump did bring over 200 of those who've given him the most money for his cryptocurrency, just handed him money. They got nothing in return. And because most Americans don't have any investments, these 220 are the elite of the elites. And they got to do this dinner with Trump. Now, there was an elite of the elite elites. The top 25 had an ultra exclusive private VIP reception from him. You can see a little photo promoting that. They describe it as an intimate private dinner, which is very exclusive. I don't even think he does those with Melania, but these 25 people did get to do that. So they're in lofty company there. And we don't know who the identities of all the investors are, which is gonna save journalists a lot of time, because if you had to look into all these people who are bribing the presidency, like, you're not gonna get any sleep this weekend. So Ken Klippenstein will be able to relax a little bit. But anyway, we know that many of them aren't American. These are just foreign executives of companies, foreign billionaires, just handing over money to Donald Trump. One of them that we do know about is Justin Sun, a Chinese billionaire who runs the crypto platform Tron. He spent more than $40 million on Trump coins. Back in 2023, he was charged with market manipulation and offering unregistered securities. And in February this year, Trump's SEC agreed to a 60-day pause on the suit in order to seek a resolution. And so maybe Justin Sun wants something in the future for the $40 million he gave Trump, or maybe this is him paying back what he's already gotten. But I really, before we jump into the discussion, I just want to make sure everyone knows, we've had these big dinners before where politicians get handed millions of dollars and you sit and you do a photo and you eat salmon or whatever it is that rich people do with these things. But that money is like only mostly a bribe. It goes to a PAC or it goes to their re-election campaign. They can't technically use it. This just went directly into Donald Trump's bank account. Tens of thousands, millions, tens of millions of dollars from individual people going directly to Donald Trump. You don't even get to know who they are. And then they get to just hang out with Trump. And he doesn't have to pay them back for that. But if he'd like them to buy millions more dollars of his cryptocurrency, he definitely could make promises to them. And so, Cenk, I mentioned the plane. I don't know how this compares to that. That I keep calling the biggest bribe in world history. This is a little bit more distributed, but this also feels like about the most corrupt act I've ever seen a president engage in.
Yeah, no, this is as direct as it gets, because there's two reasons why this is the worst bribes I've ever seen in American history. And that is saying a lot given how we've institutionalized and legalized bribery in this country. So number one is what John pointed out. This is not a campaign contribution, it goes directly into his pocket. So no ands, ifs, or buts. The campaign contributions are legalized bribes, in my opinion, and in the opinion of any rational person. These are not legalized bribes. These are just bribes. They're old school bribes, okay? The second reason is because of the nature of the vehicle that they are putting the money into. So to give you, now back up to Justin Sun, the guy that John mentioned, and he's the poster child for this. Although there are many people from all across the world at that dinner, and we'll talk a little bit more about how many foreign investors came to that dinner, including a Korean guy who was saying, yeah, I came here to influence the president in my direction. You know, because they think, I guess bribery is legal in America, so He's letting me do it. Everybody's letting me do it. So they're just bragging about it, right? But Justin's son is, by the way, a Chinese citizen. I mean, I hear that if you have a Chinese app like TikTok or in any way related to China, that app should be banned. It's super dangerous, etc. But here comes a Chinese guy to give Trump two different things. One, he gave him $75 million for World Liberty Financial. Now, World Liberty Financial is a crypto scam that is at least related to Trump's media companies, which are also a scam and make no money at all, are a giant boondoggle. But at least there's something there. You could pretend that Trump's entertainment companies are one day going to be profitable and somehow World Liberty Financial is related to those. You can keep on stretching on that, but you have something to hang your hat on, right? And by the way, after he gave the $75 million, the SEC dropped their investigations of Justin's son. What a wild coincidence, okay? But this new 40 million is a different thing. First of all, the SEC already dropped the investigations. I mean, they could restart it, but it seems like he probably thinks, hey, that 75 million turned out to be a great bribe. I got out of jail, right? I got out of an investigation. I won't be going to, and I could keep scamming anyone I like, right? The 40 million, he probably wants something new. Do we know what it is? No, because we weren't at the VIP reception, right? But the 40 million doesn't go into World Liberty Financial or anything legitimate or even a business. It goes into Trump's meme coin. The meme coin is literally worthless. And even the biggest crypto fans in the world will tell you, no, meme coins are definitively worthless. And you put whatever worth you want into it, and then it just becomes at best an exercise in speculation. Hey, I'll get in at $2 and try to get out at $8 before I lose all my money because everyone here is going to lose all their money. It's a meme coin, right? It's just, there's no value at all. So that's taking $40 million and depositing it in Donald Trump's bank account. Nothing but the most unadulterated bribe you will ever see.
Yeah, you guys said it all. This is literally the definition of pay for play. And to me, this is the fatal flaw of every MAGA diehard's argument to me. Because I mean, I think there's a myriad of reasons why somebody wouldn't like or want to vote for Donald Trump. Number one for me was always that the guy seems to be completely in it for himself and nobody else. And I don't think that's how a politician should operate. And generally, when you hear MAGA people talk about this obvious fatal flaw in the guy, they'll talk out of both sides of their mouth. It's like, oh, he's so rich already, he's incorruptible. Then you'd be like, well, why is he cheating on taxes? Why is he running a fake school? Why is he, like, all of this stuff's for money? Well, he's a businessman, he likes money. So which one is it? Is he imperious to money and its trappings because he has so much of it, or does he absolutely love it and therefore is so obviously corruptible? And this pay for play scheme with the meme coin is just another example of that. These people just come in, and again, all I ever heard in previous administrations, oh, the corruption of foreign influence, oh, foreigners are the enemy, foreigners are messed up, Hunter Biden was working for the Ukrainians, foreigners. Like, most of the people that hold the biggest shareholders in this Trump coin are foreigners. This is by definition foreign influence, and it's right in everybody's face.
Yeah, I find myself at a bit of a loss. I think of myself as a generally smart person, but this whole thing over the past 6 months, like, I feel like there's a lot of really fundamental questions that aren't being asked. So like, Duke Cunningham, Jank, you remember him?
Yeah.
He got in trouble for bribery. I looked it up. One of the things he got in trouble for was he sold his home at an inflated price. It wasn't the market value. Dude really should have gone into crypto instead, because there's no value. You can just do anything you want. They complained that Hunter Biden was selling the paintings he made for too much money just because of who he was connected to. Well, dude wasted his time. Painting, that takes hours. He should have just launched a meme coin, and then I guess he could have taken as many millions as he wanted. Like the money under, like the stall in a bathroom or whatever. Why do that in cash? Launch a meme coin. Anyone can do it. If AOC launched a coin today and said, I'm selling one meme coin. Whoever gives me the most can have it. And George Soros is like, oh, I'll give you $1 billion for that. Straight to her bank account. That is evidently not illegal in any way. And I feel like this is just such a massive gaping hole in the law that nobody wants to even look at it. Why are there any campaign finance laws anymore when you can launch a cryptocurrency, you can sell a digital trading card? I can make 30 of them right now on ChatGPT in 5 minutes. We sell a bunch of them, $1 million each. Rich donors can just hand me literally as much money as they want. Doesn't have to go to a PAC. No disclosure, just go straight to me. Like, am I an idiot that I'm asking these? Like, I don't understand what any campaign finance laws are meant to accomplish anymore, since there's nothing that can be done at hundreds of millions of dollars being handed over directly to a politician.
Yeah.
Cenk, I'm not trying to ask rhetorical questions.
Yeah.
Is anyone discussing this?
So look, no is a quick answer, but let me give you a bunch of details that are maddening. So the Korean guy that I mentioned earlier is Sangrok Oh, and he said to the New York Times, because they're brazen, this graphic 3, it's kind of a fundraiser for Trump, and he'll always be good to his sponsors. So they're just saying it out loud. Yeah, okay, and it's a fundraiser not for his campaigns, just for Trump. We're all bribing Trump because he's good to his sponsors. So he'll look out for Korean citizens first. Hey, congratulations, America First. That was frustrated. You were frustrated that turned out it was Israel first. Oh no, now you got Taiwan second, and then Korea third, and Qatar. Well, now Qatar is second. And then we're gonna have to move those guys. It's just an open auction, okay? John mentioned Duke Cunningham. So that guy was a hilarious story, right? We covered that a million years ago. We've been around forever. He did this weeping press conference right before going to prison. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I found Jesus. Oh my God, I apologize to Jesus. We found out that just a couple minutes earlier, as he was driving to the press conference, he had loaded up some of the bribes that he had gotten into a laundry bag and tossed it while driving out of the car and onto his wife's front lawn. Okay, so, and then just minutes later, he found Jesus. But now, yeah, he's a rank amateur compared to Trump. And he's got to be thinking, I went to jail. I went to jail for inflating the price of the house and a couple other trinkets. This guy's taking $40 million at a time in unadulterated.
Cenk, the Bob Menendez, the gold bars.
Yeah.
Could he have just sold?
Yes.
Cryptocurrency.
Yes, I'm gonna get to that next. But just so you know, well, who's gonna watch the watchers? No one. Trump has now pardoned several people who have committed white collar crime, almost all of it financial fraud. By the way, has gotten money from almost all of those folks. There's one guy I can't trace the money from. I don't know why he did it, or maybe they did meme coin, etc., and we don't know about it. But almost every person that he's released from white collar fraud charges has given him money in one way or another. And then he fired the white collar crime investigators at the SEC, the IRS, etc. So he's firing every cop that might look into white collar crime. So who the hell is, even if it's illegal, no one is allowed to prosecute. Imagine if Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice and Kash Patel were like, oh yeah, we're opening an investigation against the president because he's obviously taking bribes. There's a 0% chance of that. Imagine Republican senators impeaching him over taking bribes. 0%, so there's no law left. This is the lawlessness that I despise. This is the corruption I despise. And let's note the great irony of this brother running a campaign on Drain the Swamp. Please. So now to John's point, it's devastating. And John, I hadn't even quite connected it until you said it. You're absolutely right. Now, every politician is gonna open up a meme coin. Like, they'd be stupid not to. And by the way, foreign countries, I mean, now Israel and Qatar will have the biggest auction you've ever seen in your life. All right, now I've got a senator from Texas going once, going twice. Which foreign country would like to buy this son of a bitch? Okay, he's open, and he will not only serve you loyally, he'll screw over every American, send over all the taxpayer money to you, so you get 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times the money you're bribing him with, and plus he'll let you sleep with his wife, especially if it's Ted Cruz. So this is the open auction that's going on. And if you're MAGA and you said drain the swamp, and you think this is okay, you don't have any principles at all. And you're blinded by your bias, and then you're a zombie, right? Oh, Donald Trump cannot do corruption, even though it is worthless. I bet the foreign influences are giving him $40 million because of their health and because they love America so much. And they're saying, golly gee, Donald Trump, please be more America first. Come on, guys. You'd have to be a moron not to realize this is a bribe. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.